Episode ended. We see Scientist Toilet arriving at the scene and Titan Cameraman doing the "you're dead" pose right after. But things really didn't turn out the way they wanted, and Titan Speakerman doesn't even hesitate for a second and starts attacking Scientist Toilet because they know that it's a 2 versus 1, but I don't think they had any idea of Scientist Toilet's real powers. He uses his laser blaster right next to his eye to shoot Titan Speakerman, causing him to back off a little. But he starts getting attacked by Titan Cameraman right at this second. Titan Cameraman actually tries to cut off Scientist Toilet's arms with the buzzsaw, but fails miserably. This does make sense because the buzzsaw Titan Cameraman is probably made with materials worse than the Scientist Toilet uses himself. He probably only uses the best quality stuff on himself. And right after Titan Cameraman's failed try, Scientist Toilet uses his speakers to push Titan Cameraman off and actually knocks him down. I think this alone shows how tired Titan Cameraman was while coming here, because I really don't think this is something he'd normally budge against. While this is happening, we see Titan Speakerman jumping onto Scientist Toilet from the back, and he actually successfully stabs him from his laser blaster, but this really gets him mad because right after he throws Titan Speakerman, we see the toxic arm similar to the EB Mafia Toilet had in the last episode coming out of Scientist Toilet, which probably surprised a lot of people. But that wasn't it, because he was actually hiding all his tools. He uses the toxic arm to actually shoot a toxic rocket which causes Titan Speakerman's last hand cannon to fall down, but it doesn't look like his body is affected because of the acid. There is one thing in this scene that everyone has been wanting me to talk about, though. So before we continue, let's look at the mountain at the back. I have been getting a ton of screenshots of the mountain on the back this last week because we saw it on episode 67 part 1 also, and everyone has been saying that the white square-looking thing is either Titan TV Man or a large TV man, but I really don't think that's the case. It might be, but when you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Why would they just hide there? And if you zoom in, you'll see that it's most likely another circular white satellite, and it's just the perspective of the camera. And this gets Titan Speakerman really mad because we actually see him use his core laser on Scientist Toilet to destroy his acid launcher arm. We also get to see his goofy, shocked face right before his arm explodes. I'm loving every single shocked face Dafuk is putting in these episodes. One thing to note, just like Mafia Toilet in episode 67 part 1, Scientist Toilet's head also gets burned by acid, and that's why he was scared. Even though their toilets and equipment is fully capable of surviving against acid, since the faces are actual flesh, they get burned really easily. But it's actually crazy because this guy can endure Titan Speakerman's core lasers to the face without getting a scratch, and decides to pull out a whole another laser weapon which looks like G-Man Toilet's laser, but a better version. When he shoots the laser, it literally knocks down Titan Speakerman in a single second. That thing is a little too overpowered if you ask me. But thanks to Titan Cameraman, it gets cut just a second later. I really can't imagine if it stayed a whole, because it feels like if he continuously used it on the Titans for more than 10 seconds, I feel like they probably would die. We see Scientist Toilet charging up the speakers and using it to blast Titan Cameraman away once more, and it's actually working. He was able to do this twice in this episode, and it feels like these speakers are actually better than what Cinema Man had before. But this scientist guy doesn't stop there and somehow pulls out another weapon from his... I really can't think of where else he could have put all these weapons. This looks like another acid weapon, but before he can use it, Glitch Plunger comes to the rescue with all his might. If you guys don't remember, instead of going with all the other special agents and teleporting to the TV man base, Plunger Cameraman left the scene on his own, and it probably was easier for him to come back fast. I do think that the other special agents are going to appear as well with Titan TV Man's return, but that'll most likely be in episode 68 or on part 3 of episode 67, because like I guessed on my part 1 analysis, it ended on a cliffhanger, so there really might be a part 3 this time. But if we go back to the episode, we can see that Glitch Plunger can't really deal any damage to the Scientist Toilet because his defenses are too strong, and Scientist Toilet starts using his speakers so much that the screen slowly starts glitching, and we can see Glitch Plunger trying to handle it in the sky. Sadly, Scientist Toilet uses his left eye laser to one-shot our beloved hero, and he falls down just like how he fell down in episode 57 part 1. If Blood loses another fight in episode 77, I'm actually gonna lose it. It's always every 10 episodes. We see the glitch plunger crash down, but I don't think he is dead. First of all, he has the toilet as armor and probably was protected from the impact, and we didn't really see an explosion, so we know that the glitch toilet itself is fine. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like if glitch toilet exploded, it would be something crazy because the power inside it is crazy. Imagine an engine that can go up to that speeds exploding. There is one more thing that I wanted to make sure, because if you guys remember part 1, we saw Secret Agent twice in 2 different places, and his history suggests that he appears almost every time Plunger Cameraman is there, so I checked every frame and there was only one frame I found something similar to him, and it was on the exact frame where Plunger Cameraman was falling down from the sky. If you zoom into the small bunker-like house on the back, there is something that looks like a silhouette with a black jacket and white shirt. But I don't think it's him, because I feel like if Dafouk was going to put him, he'd at least make it a little more obvious so that it's understandable. Unless it's actually him and he is there to help Plunger Cameraman survive, I think he already did whatever he wanted to do in here on part 1 of episode 67, the last part when he appeared. After seeing this, Titan Cameraman actually gets mad and starts attacking Scientist Toilet with his saw hand instantly, starting to cause actual damage to his laser eye. We can definitely see that it hurts for Scientist Toilet. But suddenly something crazy happens, and the legend G-Man Toilet finally returns with his upgrades. I don't think anyone was waiting for his comeback, at least on this episode, because I thought it would happen on episode 68. Our angry boy doesn't seem like his personality changed even a tiny bit, because he enters the scene with full confidence yapping about some random stuff. But something is actually weird because if we pause the scene we can see that he has a core now, and it's the same core that Titan TV Man had, but it's yellow. What could this mean? Were they able to copy the core technology, or was this just made up? One thing is for sure, with every new upgrade, G-Man Toilet is looking more like a Titan, and I feel like he might actually get legs and arms one day, very, very further down in the series. It looks like now he has 4 jetpacks instead of just the 2 on the back, probably for higher speeds because 2 of the jetpacks are sideways after Titan Cameraman's attack, but it was all for nothing. Lens protector and it rips it off. I guess we now know why we G-Man Toilet like Scientist Cameraman. I guess my man likes it unique. One thing I don't understand before we continue on with the craziest part of the episode is, why did Scientist Cameraman swallow the camera lens? Does he actually have some type of power where if he swallows objects or upgrades from the Alliance races, he can reproduce it? It might be a possibility because I don't know why else he would want to swallow a lens otherwise instead of throwing it away, which probably would take less effort. But right at this exact moment, we got a crazy reveal. Scientist Toilet pushes his main speaker off him, and we see an actual TV screen on him. God damn, that's crazy, bro said. All these upgrades are not enough. Let me put a whole ass TV on my chest. People might actually think that this is the same TV the Titan TV Man had, but it actually is not because you can see that it seems a lot more modern because it's a lot more slim, like modern TVs we have instead of TV men who have bulky TVs, and we can also see that it actually says skibidi on the toilet. I guess this might be a reference to Samsung and how they put their logos on monitors,